Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, get to know the Quad Cities Advanced Toastmasters Club and their mission to help everyone improve their speaking skills.
Plus, saving money on car expenses. We'll hear from financial expert Heidi Buchanan-Collins, who has simple tips on how to save on everything from insurance to gas without cutting corners on care.
And free admission for the month of July at the Figure Art Museum. We'll get a preview of scheduled events along with a look at exhibitions on display. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Kyle Keel.
And I'm Morgan Otier, and today we are shining a light on something that is as urgent as it is inspiring, the need for foster parents right here in the QCA.
In Illinois alone, more than 20,000 children are currently in foster care, and there simply aren't enough homes to meet the need. But Lutheran Social Services of Illinois is working hard to change that, and joining us from that organization is Andrea McLean. Andrea, thanks for joining us today.
Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, obviously a very important topic, and Lutheran Services really has an important role in the foster care industry, or I guess the need for foster care in the Quad Cities area.
Yes.
So tell us more about that need and how you guys help.
Sure. So we're always out there looking for foster homes. Once a kid comes into care, DCFS actually places the child, but sometimes that placement isn't always stable. And then we have to look to placing the kid in another home, and that's where we really need our traditional homes if there's no relatives or fictive kin available.
Okay, so you really do play a huge role in coordinating care for these children and kind of being that liaison in situations like this. Give us, just because you live this every day, give us kind of a sense of how big the need is for foster parents right now. I know you guys are specific to Illinois, so if you can speak to that.
Sure. So in general, I mean, right now I have a few kids that are needing placement.
Okay.
And they're not your typical teenagers that are stereotyped. I mean, these are younger kids as well. Just the need is huge. Just foster parents, they can only foster for so long, and then they retire in a sense, right? So it's an ongoing need.
Yeah, so who can become a foster parent? Because I know there's probably some misconceptions out there on who and who cannot become one.
Sure. So you have to be at least 21. You can be single, married, in a relationship, but not together. And then just being able to provide a stable income, a room for that foster child. We make sure that they get fingerprinted and run those background checks. We do a home assessment, making sure everything's safe in the home, and just working with them on policies and procedures so they have the tools to do what and not to do, and then going through training online too.
Okay, I do want to talk a little bit more about training in a minute, but as what Kyle alluded to, do you feel like there's a lot of misconceptions out there from people who think that the only folks who can be foster parents are people that are like, you know, they're a married couple, a man and a woman? I mean, is that something that you see a lot, that you have to tell people that's not necessarily the case?
Yeah. And I don't even think about it because I know.
Yeah.
Right.
But then every once in a while, somebody will pipe up and ask. We have single foster parents.
Yeah.
We have same-sex couple foster parents.
Right.
We have older foster parents, so there's no age. It's just what can you handle, and what's a good fit for you and your family.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And of course you guys provide those resources for the training for these people who want to become foster parents and kind of learn the ropes of how this is done. So what does that training entail? So
the training is online on Zoom, or we also have a self-paced training too. And they do all of this trauma training, and then they discuss everything with a trainer and other foster parents, so they can just learn from each other and ask all the questions as needed. Of course, every situation is different, so we try to provide as much trauma training as possible, but we can't cover every single topic. But then there's ongoing trainings through the life of them being a foster parent.
I wanted to talk specifically about teenagers, or there's a lot of sibling situations. Can you speak at all to what kind of challenges that may pop up when it comes to fostering someone who is a teenager or more than one child, but also the rewards that come with that?
Yeah. So teenagers, sometimes they have a stigma. People hear the word teenager and they run.
Right.
Yeah.
But I always say, you know what you're getting with a teenager,
Sure.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can prepare yourself.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
sibling groups, just a home that has enough space to provide that, because we do try hard to keep siblings together if
Definitely. I
possible.
feel like that's really important.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard when you have, you know, either a sibling group of 3,
Right.
sometimes we have a sibling group of, you know, 6 or more, and it's really hard to find a home that
Yeah.
Will take
has
that
the
many.
space.
Yeah.
And, you know, just the vehicle space for transportation
Sure.
to transport all those kids.
Lots of things to think about.
Yeah, most definitely. And let's talk about the impact. What kind of impact do these foster parents have on these children and teens? I mean, this has to be a really big thing for these kids.
It does. Like, once the kid has a home that's a right fit, you really see a change in that child.
Oh, I bet.
Like, their whole attitude changes. They just need somebody to support them and teach them and be that role model. I mean, at the end of the day, we always try to reunify with their birth parents while they're getting healthy. But that child, it wasn't their fault they came into care, and they really need that role model to help guide
Step in.
them in life.
Yeah, and just step in the meantime. So a little bit earlier, we talked about, you know, the couples that can be accepted or non-couples, single folks and things like that. So you, your organization is really big on diversity, not just among parents, but you see it all the time with the kids as well. Can you just kind of talk a little bit about why that is so important, just to really support, you know, diverse households in that way and set an example for that?
Yeah, so we are, as a company, or organization, I should say, very diverse, open to diversity, just because we want everybody to be included and feel like they have a voice. Every child has a voice, and every child needs, you know, a different home to express that voice.
Yeah.
So we try really hard. You know, they have all walks of life, and we need foster parents from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so someone's watching at home and, you know, been thinking about this, like, oh, do I want to take the jump to become one? If they're kind of on the fence, what would you do to encourage them to kind of take that next step to become a foster parent?
Sure. I mean, just reaching out is always a first step. I've had people reach out. We have a conversation, you know, no pressure.
Yeah.
Just we sit down, answer all their questions, and then sometimes they come back just like a year later,
Yeah.
and they decide, hey, we're ready now.
Sure.
Wow.
Because that's a huge decision to take in, you know, a child.
Yeah.
Open up your home, open up your heart, and just be giving and willing to spend that time with that child.
Yeah, it can take some time, but the
Yeah.
first step is just making that call or reaching out and learning more.
Get that information,
Yeah, oftentimes. Okay, so your Chip In for Children,
Yes.
it's a charity golf outing, and it is coming up at the end of the summer. We've got a little bit of information on the screen right now. Tell us a little bit about it. When is it? Where is it happening?
So this will be our second annual Chip In for Children
Oh,
golf
fun.
outing. Yes. So there's lots of golf outings, but
Yeah.
I wanted one specific to bring awareness to foster care.
Yeah.
So it's unique in that way. Proceeds do benefit our foster care program. It'll be on Saturday, September 13th at 1 p.m. at Highland Springs in Rock Island.
Okay, great.
So what kind of activities can people expect? Obviously, we've got golf, but
Golf.
it's got to be a lot of fun, right?
Golf, fun, networking. We have lots of raffle prizes. So last year was a fun time. So we're hoping for a bigger, better turnout this year.
Yeah, well, that's great. Second year is awesome.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're raising money at the end of the day. That's what this does. So, can you speak to, like, specifically where that money is most needed or most used within your organization?
Sure. So we need some for recruitment,
Okay.
just getting the word out there. And then just for foster parents, keeping that home safe, stable and safe, just supporting so they can support the kids at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, wonderful. And again, that is the Chip In for Children charity golf outing. It is Saturday, September 13th at Highland Springs Golf Course in Rock Island. And you can learn more about that and about becoming a foster parent just by visiting Lutheran Social Services online. We have that website on your screen right now. And at the very bottom of the screen is the web address, which is lssi.org/fostercare. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us again today and just sharing all of that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, very important conversation. conversation. Thanks, Andrea.
Yeah.
Well, still to come on QCL, there's a whole lineup of inspiring exhibits awaiting for you at the Figge Art Museum, and it's free admission all of July. We'll learn more about this incredible opportunity for the community.
We're watching Quad Cities Live.
This July, you're invited to immerse yourself in creativity, culture, and community, and it's all for free.
Yep, the Figge Art Museum is opening its doors to everyone with free admission for the entire month of July. Here to tell us more about what to expect is Heather Aronson, Director of Education at the Figge. Heather, welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Thanks always for having me. I love
Thanks
seeing
for
you
being
guys.
here.
Being
Yes.
here. We really appreciate you. Okay, so this is an incredible gift to the community. Why has the Figge decided to open the museum up free admission for an entire month every summer?
Well, I'm just feeling very blessed because honestly, it's people like Cal and Jill Warner who sponsor free admission. We've been doing this for a while now, every summer trying to do it, and we have incredible sponsors that really help us. We're always trying to bring art and people together and get out there in the community, so it's our chance to just bring everybody in for one wild month at the Figge. And it's
Wild month.
exciting. Yeah, it gets wet. It's really fun seeing people who don't normally get to come over to the Figge, or lots of students, lots of people vacationing, lots of people just like getting out for a cultural experience, and it's really fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm sure, people coming to maybe visit family here in the Quad Cities, they're Googling what to do in the Quad Cities.
Absolutely.
The Figge pops up, so this would be the perfect time. What's the response been like for people who've taken advantage of this
Oh my
in
gosh,
July's in the past?
it's such a different energy. We're busy all year round.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, of
But
course.
when
Always.
you have that free month, you just have that different energy. The galleries are hopping, people are around, asking questions, and you really feel that vibrance in the gallery. So that's super fun for us.
Yeah.
And well, for anybody that's planning their visit, and we're looking at some photos on the screen right now.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to see this exhibition, by the way. Very cool. Talk about some of the current exhibitions that are underway, what people are going to be seeing when they stop by.
Oh my gosh. Well, the amazing shoes.
I know.
Yes.
Oh, if you ever watched Back to the Future as a kid and saw Michael J. Fox with the self-lacing Nike sneakers, we have them.
You have? Okay,
For
there you
real.
go.
They're there.
Got to get into
So-
the Figge. See it.
That is Future Now, so it's from the Bata Shoe Museum up in Canada, and it is, you just would never think of shoes in that way, let me just say that. So there's shoes from architects, there's shoes from fashion designers, so it's really just a really fun exploration, not only of modern fashion, but the breadth of shoes.
I love that.
It's pretty cool.
What a cool
And then
one.
we have something fun for the animal lovers. We have cats.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So it's every genre of art is in there, from these amazing the big lion dogs that you see,
Oh, yeah.
to cat photography. It's everything, and people are all invited to send their portraits and their photos into Figge programs at gmail.com and share their own cat portraits, and then we put them. There's a
very
screen in the
cool.
gallery, so your own cats can be in there.
Oh, people
All right.
will love
Both
that.
of those
that
galleries
now,
have
and you
lots
can
of
see it next
interactives.
month.
Yeah.
People
And
love
then we
sharing
have
that.
we're opening a show with the National Gallery. So the National Gallery in DC, we have some amazing golden age artworks that are going to be up paired with Figge works, and we had Chain Reaction, which is a really fun. It's local artists paired with local organizations with murals, and then the whole gallery's full of interactives. Lots of interactives. It's not just walk in the museum and look at the art. There's make things, do things, comment, give us your feedback. There's a lot of fun things.
And I think a lot of people appreciate that, especially, if you have kids, you're always looking for them to, they always want to do something or touch something. You can't always touch the art in the Figge, but at least you've got that. So,
And we have programs to go with it too.
a program, talk more about the program.
So we have every Tuesday, we have the art cart. So we have trained docents at a cart in the galleries with objects and things you can do. Wednesday afternoons, we have Big Picture in the House. So we bring our outreach people in for the summer. That is free. You don't have to register. So it's come. It's usually with another exhibition, and you can make art with your family.
Oh, that is
And then,
fun.
so it's super. There's just Thursday nights always. We have artist talks and openings and films and fun things. And then Saturdays, art cart again.
Very
second Saturday.
interactive. Very interactive.
So much
There's
going on.
always something to do and something to learn. And
Yeah.
while we're on the subject, beyond the free admission during the entire month of July, you guys have you have a lot going on as far as programming is concerned for adults, for kids, for summer camps. Can you just speak a little bit to that? Because It's a long summer especially for families with the kids out of school, but there you can find plenty to do at the Figgy.
I hope so. That's what I'm in charge of, so I hope
Exactly.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, you are.
The studios have amazing programs, so if you want to play with clay, if you want to do kaleidoscope camps, if you want a little more serious class, we have all those offered. You can find those on our website. Like I said, Thursday nights, we're open till 8, and every Thursday night at 6. Sometimes it's live music. Sometimes we're going to have a family night with live music and tours and art making.
Yeah.
We've got curators coming in to give talks. We're going to screen Cats, the musical
Oh, yeah.
for Cats.
Cool.
Everybody can dress up. So there's just a huge variety of things on Thursday nights. And like I said, Second Saturdays is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a full day of programming for
family
Second
day.
Saturdays. And just so lots of, there's something going on almost every day.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you know, July typically the hottest month of the year.
Yeah.
So if you're tired of going to the pool every day,
Yeah.
cool down at the Figgy with all that there's to do.
We've got good AC.
And you know, this is all about bringing art and the community together.
Yes.
So it all lines up with the mission, right?
Yeah, thanks, Kyle.
Yes, of course. Well, if you want to learn more about the art exhibitions, the hours, events, and so much more, you can visit the Figgy on the web at figgyartmuseum.org. Heather, as always, thanks for spending some time with us here on Quad
Thank
Cities
you.
Live. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yes,
of course.
absolutely. Just ahead on QCL, buying a car is expensive and so is maintaining it. Our financial contributor, Heidi Hueskamp Collins, will join us next with ways to save money on auto expenses. From gas prices to unexpected repairs, owning a car can take a big bite out of your budget, but with a few smart strategies, you can keep your vehicle and your wallet in better shape. Our financial expert, Heidi Hueskamp Collins, is back with simple, practical ways to save some money on auto expenses, maybe some things you haven't heard of before. Heidi, welcome back.
Great to be here.
It's so nice to have you here as always. Let's start with car maintenance. So why is car care one of the best ways to save money long term?
Right, so just routine maintenance, keeping up on your oil changes, having your tires rotated, getting your brakes and your engine checked. All of those things will keep your car in tip-top shape and really save you money in the long term. Plus, if you do keep on top of all of those, you know, maintenance type of things, you're going to get a higher trade-in value when you do go to sell your car.
That is true, and I think that, you know, for a lot of people, well, they're going, well, yeah, of course. I mean, it doesn't really come naturally for people. I mean, when you're until a light comes on or you hear a weird sound or something like that, and then you're like, I better take it in to the shop and get the car checked out. But if you're on top of it, that bill, when you finally do take your car in, when the light comes on,
a lot lower.
It's going to be a lot lower. So it does just make sense to keep on top of it. I mean, fortunately, a lot of cars nowadays, they will tell you, there will be some sort of indicator that tells you when you need to get your oil changed, but that's not necessarily the case for every driver in every car. So it's important to stay up to date on all of that. You recommend getting maintenance done by like a dealership or at least a professional.
Yes. So usually a dealership or some kind of professional person has had specialized training, and they also have, more importantly, liability insurance to back them up.
Okay.
In case something happens to the car after you've had it serviced. You know, please don't entrust your expensive vehicle to somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, you know, who does this on the side.
Right.
They're probably not going to have the liability insurance, and you could be, you know, really up a creek if something happens.
Sure, and a lot of people like to do it themselves. So we've had, you know, a lot of these conversations about ways that we can cut costs in our lives and save money. A recent example I can think of is, you know, you can groom your own pet. You don't necessarily need to take the dog to the groomer, you know, every few weeks or so. You can learn how to do some of these things yourself. This is not that.
Correct.
This is not that because of the insurance, the liability, but also, I mean, what if something isn't done right, you know? And so at least you have the professionals there in that backing. So it makes sense. Insurance, of course, is a major part of auto expenses. So you actually encourage people to shop around a little bit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You should shop your car insurance every single year.
Okay.
You know, car owners, and you know, it happens to everyone, we get complacent. We think that the, you know, the insurance person that we've been with forever, who was our cousin's next door neighbor or whatever, you know, is always out giving us the best rates, you know, or else we get kind of busy, you know, with everyday life, and we don't want to put the time into getting those quotes.
Absolutely not.
But you can save real money by shopping every year.
That was the one for me that was like the light bulb, you know, suggestion from you, because you're right. And it's really not something that's top of mind to do every single year. But yes, of course, if it saves you money, you should be doing that. So very interesting. Are there things that we should be comparing when we're looking for a better rate? I mean, is it going to be very obvious to just, you know, the layman that's not, you know, doing this all the time or not used to shopping around?
One thing that I would shop around too is kind of play around with your comp and collision.
Okay.
You know, deductibles. You know, if you've got an older car, you don't need, you know, full comp and collision insurance.
Sure.
You know, so play around with those things. You can really save a lot of money.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of research, it can go a long way. Another tip that I think people may overlook, so we talk about gas prices all the time, right? We're always watching the gas prices when they're going up, especially. You recommend joining a wholesale club specifically for that reason.
Yes. Go get a membership at Costco, or go get a,
We've got Sam's Club. Yeah.
You know. And, you know, make sure that, you know, any of your household vehicles goes and fills up, you know, at those places.
Yeah.
You know, the savings on gas that you're going to enjoy
Yes.
is going to pay for your membership,
Yeah.
you know, price. I guarantee it.
I think you're right, especially when gas prices were a little bit higher not too long ago. I went to the one that I belong to, and the lines, of course, people, they all have the same idea. The lines may seem long, but I tell you, they move. People, they know what they're doing.
It's
they get in there, they get
science.
out. Yeah, it may look long. It probably won't take you more than 10 minutes. So another great idea. Very cool. Well, Heidi, thank you so much for joining us for those tips today. We really appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about, Heidi does a whole lot more than coming on the show and providing us with this incredible information every couple of weeks. She has a variety of services, and if you want to learn more, just visit her website. We have that on your screen. It is hhcinvestments.net. And of course, we would like for you to see all of the segments that we have done together. You can do that by heading to kwqc.com and clicking the tab for Quad Cities Live. Heidi, thank you so much.
Great to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. And still to come in our second half hour, if public speaking makes you anxious, you may just need a little practice. We'll introduce you to a group that can help with that. And is your supplement routine helping you or just taking up space in your cabinet? Dr. Tracy Nelson joins us to break down what's worth keeping and what to toss, and how to finally stop guessing when it comes to your health.
And of course, it's summer, so we all want to get outside, but will we have to dodge any rain and storms? We'll let you know coming up in your first alert forecast in the next half hour of Quad Cities Live.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Well, it's been another very hot and humid day across the QCA. We've had lots of sunshine, breezy southwesterly winds, and now we've got those clouds popping up on the Everywhere Camera Network, but still seeing that beautiful blue sky in between those clouds. And eventually, we could be talking about some storms. So our First Alert Day does continue, because right now, as we speak, we've got those heat indices that are upwards of 99 to 100, 103 degrees. So very warm here this afternoon, and that's going to lead to some strong storms here this evening, especially near the Quad Cities and points to the west. A couple of these storms could have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts or greater. Heavy rain certainly a good bet out of these storms, but the farther east you live in the TV6 viewing area this evening, that's where you have the lower chance of seeing any storms, as they are expected to weaken as they cross the Mississippi River. But right now, we've got some storms here down toward the Peoria area. Also, we've got some severe thunderstorms lining up ahead of that cold front here in portions of north central Iowa. We'll take a look at some of those. They've been producing 60 to 70-mile-per-hour winds, even some rotation in this particular storm off to the northeast of Waterloo. Had a couple tornadoes there in southern Minnesota a little bit earlier. This is where we do have the risk of tornadoes in northern Iowa, but the farther southwest you are, it's a damaging wind threat. So a severe thunderstorm watch is out until 9 p.m. here off to our west, so just to the west there of Iowa City. That's where we have that watch, tornado watch here in northeastern Iowa. So this is all ahead of that cold front that's going to continue to migrate eastward here this evening, and as it gets a little bit bit closer, that's where we'll have that threat for producing some thunderstorms in our area. But locally, it's a level 1 risk. We've got that level 2 risk from about Galena toward Tipton, Iowa City, points off to the north and west. That's where we have the highest threat of severe weather, probably through about 8 or 9 o'clock. And then after that, isolated severe threat, level 1 risk here in the Quad Cities. After midnight, that threat for severe weather will certainly wind down, and maybe a couple isolated showers here heading into the early part of your Friday morning. But notice still very muggy overnight with temperatures in the 70s. But notice it's a slow warm up tomorrow with the clouds around. We'll have high temperatures reaching the 80s. So there's exact tracks showing those storms off to the north and west. Those will get a little bit closer here as we head toward the evening hours, especially between about 8 and midnight. They are at 8 o'clock. Portions of Jackson, Clinton, Cedar, Muscatine County could start to see those gusty winds pick up as this line of storms moves through. Quad Cities Metro will go between 9 and 10 o'clock for the line of storms to move in. Again, all of these storms will have the potential to produce quite a bit of lightning along with some heavy rain. But notice the farther east you live, the weaker the storms will be, the less rainfall you'll see as well. And then tomorrow we'll start the day with quite a bit of cloud cover. Could see some peaks of sunshine later in the day. Threat for any storms, though, is pretty low here at this point on Friday. Again, the heaviest rain going to fall off to the northwest of the Quad Cities. Could see a ½ inch to inch, some areas getting up to 2 inches of rain. We'll see less rain here the farther east you live. So here's a look at the next 7. We'll have temperatures in the 80s here tomorrow. Back to the 90s, though, heading into the weekend with lots of sunshine here on Saturday. Maybe a stray storm late in the day. Better chance for rain comes late Sunday into Monday along a front that knocks those temperatures back to seasonable levels, along with lower humidity heading into the early to middle part of next week.
Well, we all want to feel our best, and for many of us, that means turning to vitamins and supplements. But are the ones you're taking actually doing anything? Dr. Tracy Nelson from Nelson Chiropractic is back with us to help us rethink our supplement routine, stop guessing, and start getting some real results. Thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
I'm super interested in this topic.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
Yeah.
I have asked all of my friends what kinds of supplements they take, if any at all, why they take them. There's just so much out there that it's really hard to get, you know, a handle on it. So, yeah, talk a little bit about why we kind of need to take a step back and reassess our routine when it comes to supplements.
Absolutely. Well, we change over time. Things become habit, and some people just do what they're told. Someone said take this, and they do, and they really don't know what it is. Or they take it sometimes, it ends up being expired, and they're taking things. So it's just a matter of like, stop everything and let's see what you're actually doing and if it's the best thing for you.
Yeah, and that goes along with something that you say, which is start with your why.
Yes.
Why are you taking the supplements in the first place? Yeah, what does that mean in the context of supplements? Like, do you kind of have to wait until you feel like there's a problem?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. So maybe you're trying to prevent something. Maybe you're just trying to maximize something. Maybe you just want your hair to be shinier. I mean, there's a million things that people do take things for. So that is what you need to evaluate. And so knowing what your why is, then you start work backwards from there.
That makes sense. Okay, so reading a supplement label, that can be a little bit overwhelming.
And small, very small.
And very small. Put your readers on. So what should people be looking for? What are a couple of things that should stand out?
A lot of times supplements have extra stuff in there that you don't want. You want them to be pure. It's the, you know, the fillers in there. Like maybe you're someone who, you know, doesn't do gluten, but there's gluten in your supplements and you may not know that. So there's a lot of times like additives that you don't necessarily want. You're trying to be healthy, but you're taking stuff that's not healthy in with your healthy stuff. So you have to just pay attention to that. Additives, the fillers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we actually had a dietitian on not too long ago, and she was talking specifically about gluten and celiac disease, and shared like even in the sandwich baggies, like there is gluten. So yes, like really paying attention if you're trying to avoid something like that. And timing. So when we take our supplements, timing really does matter when it comes to absorption.
Yeah, just like medications, for example, you take some with food, you take some on an empty stomach, you take some in the morning, you take some before you go to bed. Like there is timing for the best way to, you know, metabolize supplements.
Yes. Okay. And along with that, in some cases, supplements that you're taking may actually be working against you. You know, that's the one that I always worry about a little bit, where it's like, I don't know if this is working, but I'm taking this because, you know, a lot of people say it's healthy and I should be taking it.
Right.
But it could be doing something.
Right, it can, and especially like if you're taking things at the same time, there's some things that you shouldn't take together, just like with medication too. You shouldn't take certain things with certain foods or whatever.
Yeah.
So you just need to stop everything and just reassess top to bottom what you're taking together. Some supplements are good together, like vitamin C and iron. It helps your iron absorb. So, but some work against each other. So just know what you're doing and know the timing of them.
Yeah. Okay. This is very funny. So, supplement spring cleaning.
Yeah.
And that's your phrase, which I love it. So, what's your kind of your checklist, or what do you mean by supplement spring cleaning?
Well, just looking at everything. Like maybe you take certain things only when your allergies are acting up. Maybe you do whatever, and maybe they're expired. Maybe, you know, you open up the gummies of, you know, vitamins and they're hard.
They're
like
all
just
stuck
check
together.
it out. Yeah.
That is
just looking at everything and just reassessing if they're still good.
That is,
they can get rancid.
I think maybe that like made me laugh so much because I'm thinking about where like my supplements are, like my pills. It's like our medicine cabinet where, you know, we've got the kids Motrin in there, but above that we've got the vitamin B or whatever. And if you were to open mine, there's probably so much in there that I probably bought some of them 4 years ago. Right. And so clean out your supplements.
Everybody has.
And I'm not going to take them. No. So what are they doing in there? Right. Okay. So talk a little bit about things like hormones, things like stress, or simply just aging.
Yeah. So
aging,
after you have baby, different things like that. Like different things are needed at different life cycles. So maybe you have stuff in that cabinet that you had before you had kids, and so you just need to get rid of things and just again look at your goals. Maybe you've lost 100 pounds. Like you don't need to take the same amount maybe and things like that. So reassessing where you are in your life and what's going on.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And one thing that you really emphasize, and we're going to talk about some really cool opportunities for people in just a minute, but quality over quantity.
Yeah, okay. So iron, for example, there's quality iron supplements and then there's cheap ones. So you can get iron from a rock. And you can get iron from spinach. Yeah. And so which one is cheaper? Which, you know, you buy it and it's inexpensive, but it's from a rock and your body can't digest rocks. So it is legally, it is in there, but your body cannot metabolize it and use it. So the good ones made out of good things cost more. Yeah.
You know, that's so funny that you mentioned that, because it's not something that I would have realized. Like you go online and you go to the like the online store and there's like, you know, 6 different brands of iron on there, and you're obviously going to go for the cheapest because you're just trying to get the iron.
Right.
You know, but
and all the things. And the shoes.
and the shoes. Right. But that's what, you know, reading the label, which you talked about earlier. Okay, so you do offer wellness evaluations at Nelson Chiropractic. Tell us a little bit about those.
So a wellness evaluation is basically like looking at all, and there's an example of it. So it just, what are the symptoms overall metabolically that are bothering you? Like what, you know, what's the point of this? And so we can just kind of take a step back and look at a big overview of what's going on and addressing gut health, because no supplement is going to affect you in a positive way if your gut is not functioning properly. You have to be able to digest things. So we're just kind of looking at that and then assessing what you're taking, what you're maybe missing, but also the accountability part. So a lot of times with plans that we recommend, there's an app and some guidance that we can run through with people.
Well, that's awesome. And you offer workshops all the time at Nelson Chiropractic. So Dr. Tracy and her team, they're hosting a supplement review workshop Monday evening at 6:30. If you want to go and learn more about this, you are asked to reserve your space by calling the phone number on your screen. And of course, you can always connect with Nelson Chiropractic online and on Facebook. Really interesting stuff. So Tracy, thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Much more to come on QCL today. Public speaking, for example, can be intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. You can learn how a group called the QC Toastmasters helping people build skills and gain confidence.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
The fear of public speaking is one of the most common anxieties out there,
Definitely.
affecting nearly 75% of people.
I didn't realize it was that
I didn't
startling.
realize
Wow.
it was that high, but I feel like, you know what, I'm in good company then. So what if you could turn that fear into confidence and even leadership?
Yeah, that's exactly what Toastmasters help people to do. And today we are joined by Lisa Stroda and Laura Hansen from the Quad Cities Advanced Toastmasters Club, helping us become better communicators. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, we're excited to talk to you because, yes, 75% of people, I mean, that is a startling statistic. I didn't realize it was that high, but I do know that a lot of people do get a little nervous. So, Lisa, we'll start with you. Why is this organization so valuable for people? I feel like it can help people not only personally, but really in professional settings as well.
Yes, we help those with the fear of public speaking, getting over that. But it's also important to learn skills speaking one-on-one. And that is hard for many people. And it helps build our confidence, and we work on leadership skills, and it can come into, very helpful at work and social situations.
Kind of a domino effect, really.
Absolutely.
Positive domino
And I
effect.
feel like too, I love this club. I think this is so great. With the COVID generation, I mean, we really, I mean, even folks who are, older, who have had a whole lifetime of, interacting with others, that really took us out.
It did, yeah.
You
A
know,
little rough on the social skills.
A little rough on the social skills, absolutely. So I just think this is so great. The name Toastmasters, Laura, it sparks curiosity.
It does, it really does.
We have our own guesses
Yes.
for what the name means, but can you tell us where it comes from?
I'm curious what you think it
Okay.
means.
We both kind of had the same idea.
Like giving a toast.
Yeah.
Making a speech.
That's it exactly.
Oh, perfect.
That's
Okay,
it
so it
exactly.
worked. It's a very good name then.
Yeah, I love it.
It is. It fits perfectly.
Yeah.
The club actually started in 1924. So it's been an international organization now for just over 100 years. Communication and leadership being the primary focus areas. And the idea that you could go to a wedding and perhaps be very skilled at giving your toast, or be able to think on your feet if the toast seems to not be resonating with your audience.
Sure, yeah.
And
crickets. That's what we call crickets.
Yes, and
Like
then
when
there's
I make a
nothing
joke.
there.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're in various settings. We're around people we know, we're around people we don't know. We're around people at work, but maybe we don't like the people that we work with because of the challenges that come with that. So the skills that we work on go beyond just I'm going to stand up and give a prepared speech.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's could I also be in a social setting and someone says, oh, ding, 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 you need to give a toast. Or, oh, you're the father of the bride. And
Nightmare.
I know you weren't going to speak, but let's hear something. And so it helps people be able to think on their feet too, because we also do spontaneous speaking as well as evaluations.
Oh boy. Okay, so you're not just the Toastmasters, you're the advanced Toastmasters. So what
are.
makes this advanced?
Most clubs have one evaluator, and that person will evaluate you on delivery, content and organization, and your project organization if you completed what you were supposed to complete.
Sure.
Our club has 3 evaluators, so you have one person evaluating delivery and style, the other one evaluating content and organization, and another one making sure that you have stayed in your lane and completed everything that you were supposed to complete.
Okay, that makes sense.
So who would this class be for then?
Well, it could be for you have to be over 18 to
Over
join
18,
Toastmasters.
Okay.
And
know.
it's for anyone and everyone, because we all have something that we can improve upon.
Sure.
And some people will really, they're used to speaking in front of groups of people, but one-on-one, it's harder.
Yeah.
And for those that are getting out of high school, when you spoke about what happened during
With
COVID, and being online, I have heard from some teachers that it's those kids are having a hard time making eye contact.
Oh, for sure.
And having to step out of that comfort zone and introduce themselves. And so we
This would
can
be
really help
great.
with that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. And I really loved, Laura, before we even started the show today, you were chatting with, using your skills, chatting with all of our guests.
Yeah, it was
And
great.
so I was listening, and you were talking about some of the different careers of the people that have joined the club. Will you just rattle off a couple of them, because I found that to be one of the most interesting things.
Yes. Our club is made up of a wide diversity of people. And I don't mean just by race or age or gender, but also because of the nature of what they do and why they're there. We have some people that are in the roofing industry and safety. We have people that are in real estate. We have a music instructor who gives private lessons. We have someone who's a retired educator in the special education department, and now she's working at Hy-Vee.
Wow.
And so you can imagine the different people that you'd be working with all the time, whatever you're doing. And so we have a wide variety of people that are there to learn whatever they want to about, these are my goals for my leadership skills, these are my goals for communication.
It just makes so much sense.
It does,
when you started talking about that. Like,
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
I was thinking about the roofer, or somebody who's in, you know, carpentry or construction, and just chatting with your customers, and, you know, making all of those connections.
Yes,
and
the building
networking.
of relationships.
Yeah, and how huge that would be. So, wow, I just think it's great. Yeah, very
And it's
cool.
really fun. We get along really well. Everybody kind of feels like a friend because we're such a supportive club. There's no way you can get better if you don't have good support, because you have to be willing to take those safe risks.
Well, that is incredible. And you can find this group on Facebook at Quad Cities Advanced Toastmasters. Very easy to find. We also have their web address there at the bottom of your screen. So yeah, think about joining. It sounds like a lot of fun.
It does, yes.
Lisa and Laura, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
All right,
It was fun.
Thanks, ladies. All right, well, coming up next on Quad Cities Live, our Throwback Thursday feature. We'll take a walk down memory lane coming up.
All right, it is time now for Throwback Thursday.
Yes.
Hey, first of all, we made it to Thursday.
We did, yes.
Congratulations,
Almost Friday.
everybody.
Yay.
Yes, the work week's almost over.
Yeah.
So when's your throwback from?
My throwback is from 2014, so 11 years ago, and it's in the spirit of Bix at 6 starting tonight with all the runners taking on the streets, hot and humid. This is me. I was doing some race, and I can't for the life of me remember which one it is, but notice I am drenched. That is not water. That is.
You were sweating.
I just remember it was a 10K.
This looks rough.
So it was very, very hot and very humid.
Wow.
And I think I was very close to the finish line. Like, that's the face of determination to get to that finish line.
That stresses me out.
So yeah, this was just, it was a very hot and humid day. This was, June something of 2014. Back when I ran like 1 or 2 races a year. But
looks like you won.
Oh yeah, I probably placed, because that's what I did back in the day. Back in my 20s, I ran to get a medal. You know.
I enjoy running, but that like gives me anxiety. Like looking at how miserable you look at the end of that run. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm rethinking the Bix.
We have 1 month until Bix, and I'm just hoping that it's not this hot and humid, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it.
No, that would be crazy. Okay, so my throwback takes us all the way back to 2024.
Whoa, okay, go way back.
1 year ago, almost to the day, because we've got 4th of July coming up. I can't believe it, next week.
I know.
And Darby and I always visit my dad. And he lives on the water in Illinois. And there's my dad.
He is.
Yeah, there's Papa
all
Mike.
Decked out.
There's Papa Mike, always decked out, always a good time. Last year he taught Darby how to go fishing.
Oh, that's so fun.
And so we fish off the back of his dock, and she caught a fish with
Yes.
this little,
look at that.
little LOL Dolls fishing pole. And if you're a parent, you probably
The
know what
LOL
LOL
Dolls.
Dolls is. And there she is picking up the worm herself. This is my little
Look at
outdoorsy
her.
girl.
Yeah, there she is.
So we'll see if she does the same thing, because we'll be headed back next week to visit my dad and my brother, and it's so much fun.
Did she enjoy it?
Yeah, she loved it.
I have a lot of memories with my grandpa of fishing.
Yeah,
Fishing on the lake.
my dad and I never caught anything when we went fishing
No.
together. She was there 1 hour.
And she caught
a
one.
fish.
Good for Darby. Let's hope she catches more next week.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching Quad Cities Live.
Your news at 4 is coming up next. We'll see you next time.